Namaskaram to all. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. As I had sent that email, we are now going to, from today, starting today on Guruvaram with Pariva's blessings, we're going to have a series of lectures on lectures on Sanatana Dharma by P.R. Kannan. I have already sent all of you an introduction about him. So briefly, I just wanted to go over an introduction about Kannan. Kannan is about 77 years of age. He's an M.Tech in Civil and Mechanical Engineering, postgraduate from Holland. After being in the private sector and organizations for a while, he's retired, and now he's doing a lot of service because of under Pariva's instructions to do lectures and writing a lot of books. He's also an editor of a spiritual magazine called Dilip, started at the instance of Mahapariva, and he's being published in Mumbai. He's written a lot of books, the latest one being a very interesting one, which is the Pitrukarya. I mean, I sincerely request all of you to really get that book. It's published by Giri. It's an excellent book, so everybody in every household should have that book. So at the instance of Pariva, I think we need to start where we are in challenging times today. I think it is important that we start getting back to our roots. And so that's why I think Pariva wanted Kannan Mama to start these lectures, and that too, the audience being primarily outside India. But I mean, now it's everything with Zoom and all those things. It is a globally connected world, so anybody can literally join. So the first thing is, even though the initial meeting might be small, but I want all of you to share this link. I've also sent the YouTube link. So this is also live on YouTube. In the event somebody wants to view it later, they can do that also. It is on KKSF YouTube channel. So I think it'll be best if you can share widely with everybody. So today's session, we're starting on Thursday because it's a Guruvaram. But going forward, it'll be a Saturday and a Sunday program. So it'll again same time, but Saturday and Sunday, or 2 days on the weekend. At same time, going forward, Vivek, who's my co-KKSF member from Houston, he will be coordinating on that because so he has done a lot of these programs. So I thought he can also jump in and do this. So with this, I just handed over to Kannan Mama to begin because let's get into the subject immediately. And so from a moderation perspective, please mute your audio and video, so that way it'll be easy for all of us. We just need to listen and hear to Kannan Mama, so it'll be easy for you. You can listen to it, but video and audio mute would be best, and then we can go from there. And if at the end of the program, if we have time, the program is scheduled for about an hour, but we will see how this goes. And Kannan Mama also feels that this could be longer, but it's all based on the availability of people who are joining the program. We will see if we can take some questions and things like that. But let's begin today with Kannan Mama.
Okay. Shruti-smriti-purāṇānaṁ ālayam karuṇālayam namāmi bhagavata-pāda Shankaram lokashankaram sadāsiva-samārambhām Shankarācārya-madhyamām Acārya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Srikanto Mātulo yasya janani sarvamangala Janaka-shankaro devaha Tam Vande Kunjarananam Shri Rama Saumitri Jatayuveda Shadananaditya Kuta Shri Neelakanthaya Dayamaya Adhyanathaya Namah Shivaya Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsayanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhake Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Namah Parvati Pataye Hara Hara Mahadeva Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Sri Jagadambikaye Jaya Jaya. It is a very auspicious day today that we are starting this lecture series. After a very long absence from Srimatham, our Periyval has just returned to Srimatham today. Yesterday night he came, and today is the start of the puja. Today was chosen as the auspicious day for his return to Srimatham. And this month is Kartika Masa. Kartika Masa, as all of you know, is known for Deepa, Kartika Deepam. Deepam means light, light means jnana, knowledge. So this month is specifically associated with jnana. Maybe all these reasons prompted Perival to start this lecture series. Now, the term was Sanatana Dharma. The series of lectures should be on Sanatana Dharma. That's what Perival has ordained. And the first few lectures were supposed to be on common dharmas, with a brief introduction today, to be followed by one lecture on Nataraja Tattvam, another series of lectures on Sankshipta Ramayana. That is the present schedule till 10th of January. I am very grateful to Sri Perival, the Sri Matham, and KKSF to be able to join this satsang today, to be able to start this series today. Now, starting with the subject, Sanatana Dharma says very clearly that human birth is extremely rare. Jantunam Narajanma Durlabham. So after 84 lakh yonis, you get human birth. That's what Shastra says. 84 lakhs of species. And each species, we don't know how many janmas we have taken. So finally, we land this human birth on mundane perseverance, and we should be aiming at not coming back to this world again. This is what Shastra is all about. We have enunciated what are called four purusharthas: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Moksha is the ultimate destination, ultimate gati, ultimate aim, and artha and kama are persuasions which are needed as a human in this human world. These are needed. The artha and kama are needs. Moksha is the destination, and dharma is the basis for all the rest of the three. That is, artha should be followed with dharma as the basis, kama should be aimed at with this, and moksha, of course, cannot be attained without dharma.
Just bear with us. I think we are having some minor technical difficulties, so just bear with us. I'm trying to reach out to Kannan Mama. Just bear with me, okay? Thanks. Okay. மாமா இப்ப இந்த ஜூம் மொழியா கேக்குறதா உங்களுக்கு? கண்ணன் மாமா.
Ramesh, I'm not hearing anything at all on Zoom. Okay.
You can hear me though, right?
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay.
Can I go on mute?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I tried on YouTube. There also, I'm not getting anything. It started and then you went on hold, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just bringing Dr. Mama again. Okay, just bear with me another minute or so. Sorry for the interruption. Namaskaram, everyone. Mama is trying to join back, so just bear with us for that minute.
Ramesh, Mama வந்துட்டார்.
இப்ப கேக்குறதா மாமா? கண்ணன் மாமா
ஆ
இப்ப
ஆ
கேட்கணும். இப்போ ஆடியோ
சொல்லுங்க.
மட்டும் வச்சுக்கலாம் மாமா. இப்ப சத்திக்கு ஆடியோ மட்டும் வச்சுட்டுலாம். சோ யூ கேன் இப்போ
அப்படியா?
வீடியோ ஆமா. ஏன்னா அது
நான்
தெரியல.
ஆக்சுவலா இப்போ லேப்டாப்ல பண்ணேன்.
சரி
I
ஓகே
changed to mobile now.
ஓகே. இப்போ நம்ம இந்த
ஒரு
ஆடியோவே
ஒரு
வச்சுக்கலாம் மாமா. ஹிந்திக்கு.
ஒரு நிமிஷம் இருக்கோ,
ஆ
ஒரு நிமிஷம் இருக்கோ, நான் அதை மொபைல ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணி விடுறேன். ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணி புல் பண்ணு, அது புல் பண்ணு. கை என்ன நல்லா புல் பண்ணு, நல்லா புல் பண்ணு. ஹலோ
சொல்லுங்க மாமா.
ஹலோ,
கேக்குறது மாமா. நீங்க ஆரம்பிச்சு நீங்க யூ கேன் கண்டினியூ.
I can speak now.
இப்ப பேசலாம் மாமா. நீங்க கண்டினியூ பண்ணுங்க. இதுவே பெட்டர்.
Okay. Right. Okay. Sorry, there was some problem with the transmission. I was mentioning there are 14 sources of knowledge, Vidyasthanas. The first is the 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva. Now, when Vedavyasa classified these Vedas, there were 1180 shakhas, 1180 shakhas. Rig Veda had 21 shakhas, Yajurveda had 109, Samaveda had 1000 shakhas, Atharva had 50, totaling 1180. Today, we have a total of only 10. That much has been the steady deterioration in the preservation of Vedas. Now we have only 1 of Rig Veda, 4 of Yajurveda, 3 of Samaveda, and 2 of Atharva Veda. 1 or 2 are in nascent stage of being retrieved. Now that is about Veda. Now Veda has got Karma Kanda as well as Jnana Kanda. The Samhita portion is the mantras, which is followed by Brahmanas. Brahmanas are explanations of the mantras, guidance regarding rituals, etc. is contained in Brahmanas. That is followed by Aranyakas, where the forest thoughts about Parabrahma. It is the link between the Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda, and Upanishad, or the final, the 4th part, which is the Jnana Kanda. Now, there are many Upanishads, out of which 10 are deemed to be most important, for which Adi Shankara wrote the commentary. Now, they are easily remembered with this verse, Ishakena Katha Prashna, Munda Mandukya Tittirihi, Aitareyam Cha Chandogyam, Brihadaranyakam Dasha. These are the 10 Upanishads. Now, these are under Vedas, Tattvara, this is what we have seen. Next comes Angani, that is Shadangas, 6 Angas of Veda. Now, those are Shiksha, Vyakarana, Chandas, Nirukta, Jyotisha, and Kalpa. These are the 6. Now, these 6 are essential for understanding what the Veda says, number 1. Number 2, for maintaining continuity from generation to generation, for maintaining the oral tradition. These 2 essentials are served by these 6 Shadangas, Vedangas. Shiksha is the nose of Veda Purusha, because it is connected with pronunciation, intonation. Intonation is connected with nose, so it is called nose of Veda Purusha. Phonetics. Now we have Jataparayana, Ganaparayana, and all that. All are various forms of chanting which are required for maintaining the purity of the Vedas through oral tradition over several centuries. That is Shiksha. Next is Vyakarana, which is the grammar, which is the mouth of the Veda Purusha. Next is Chandas, the foot of the Veda Purusha, that is the meter, which is the proceeding. As all of you may be aware, there are 7 main meters which we mention in our Sandhyavandana mantra, Gayatri, etc. Now, actually, there are many chandas, many meters. In fact, there are 24 different chandas, different meters corresponding to the 24 letters of Gayatri. Gayatri has got 24 letters, and for each of the letters there is a meter. So there are 24 such chandas. Now next comes Nirukta. Nirukta is the ear of the Veda Purusha, and that is etymology, that is how the words are framed from basic words. Basic words, the words which evolve from the basic words and their meaning. This is all covered under Nirukta. Next is Jyotisha. Now, as you know, Karma Kanda has got something to do with time. Every karma has got a specified time to be performed, for that karma to be performed. Now, the time is determined only by Jyotisha, the position of the planets. Jyotisha includes astronomy as well as astrology. Now, that is the eye of the Veda Purusha. Then comes the last one comes Kalpa. Kalpa is the rituals, the manual of rituals. And Kalpa is the hand of the Veda Purusha, because hand is what is required for performing the karmas. So these are, unless you have studied all these six, the entire import of Vedas will not be understood. So Vedas are followed by Shadangas. So 4 plus 6, 10. There are 14 sources of knowledge we saw. Next two are Mimamsa, Nyaya, Vistaraha. Mimamsa and Nyaya are two of the 6 darshanas, the schools of philosophy. There are 6 schools of philosophy which are all based on Vedas, which have their authority coming from Vedas, stemming from Vedas, and 2 of them are selected here for basic understanding of the school of philosophy. Now that is Nyaya, Mimamsa and Nyaya. Mimamsa is critical investigation. It is based on various pramanas, pratyaksha, anumana, etc. Nyaya is logic. Now, after this comes Purana and Dharma Shastra, the last 2 of the 14 sources of knowledge. Purana is again written by Vedavyasa, 18 main Puranas and 18 Upapuranas. All of them are based on Vedas. Vedas are cryptical. Vedas language is difficult. Vedas give instructions but not in detail, whereas Puranas through stories make those instructions, make those principles clear. That is the purpose of writing extensive Puranas. In fact, all these 18 Puranas together constitute 4 lakh shlokas. Next comes Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra is again 18 in number. There are 18 Dharma Shastras written by 18 sages. Out of them, main Dharma Shastras are written by Manu, Parashara, Yajnavalkya, Vasishta. Now, Manusmriti, these are known as Smritis, these Dharma Shastras. They lay down do's and don'ts in great detail. In fact, our present subject of dharmas is closely related to this set of manuals, Dharma Shastras. Now, these are the 14 sources of knowledge. Now, some Shastras refer to 4 more sources of knowledge, Vidyasthanas. Ayurvedo, Dhanurvedo, Gandharvachaiva Trayaha, Arthashastram Chaturtham tu, Vidya Shashtadashaivataha. These 4, Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Gandharva Veda, and Arthashastra, are called Upavedas, 4 Upavedas connected with the same Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharvana. Now, these are mainly related to mundane life, and that is why they are not included in the original 14. Original 14 are related to the 4 Purusharthas leading us to moksha, whereas these 4 are related to mainly Artha and Kama, so desire and wealth. So these are not included in the original 14, but they are required. So these are also sources of knowledge recognized in Shastras. Now, coming to Dharma, that is our present subject. Various sources of knowledge we have seen, all of them give information, instructions on Dharma, but Dharma Shastra is what is essentially connected with instructions on Dharma Shastra. Now, what is Dharma? Dharma is very difficult to define. It is very difficult to translate, as all of us know. But what is the definition given in Shastras for Dharma? Dharma has got 2 characteristics that we should remember. Dharana, dharma yatyahuhu, dharmo dharayati prajaha. The word dharma is derived from dhru, that means to support. That is what supports the creation. supports humankind, supports the running of this world, supports the conduct of affairs in this world. That is dharma. Without dharma, everything will collapse. This is the basic foundation for everything in this world. That is what this shloka says. This is from Mahabharata. Dharanate dharmayatyahu. Because it supports, it's called dharma. Dharmo dharayati prajaha. It is dharma which supports the people, humans. It gives do's and don'ts, and we have to follow the instructions. This is dharma. Now, this is one characteristic. There is another characteristic for dharma, and that is the nature of the object. Now, Agni, fire, has got heat as its dharma. There cannot be Agni without heat. There cannot be water without coolness. There cannot be milk without whiteness. These are the standard examples given for this dharma characteristic of that particular object. That is also called dharma. Dharma is the foundation, support of everything, of the entire system. Dharma is also the characteristic of a particular material. Now, when it comes to humans, it indirectly tells us that we should follow dharma because that is our characteristic. Dharma is the characteristic. When Dharma Shastra says do this, don't do this, we are supposed to follow it. It's supposed to be ingrained in our system. That is the purpose of raising these two meanings for the word dharma. Now, dharma is laid down by several rishis in several books. So, sometimes there is a contradiction among those instructions, among those manuals. Now, what should be done? Tarko apratishta shrutayo vivinna naiko muniryasya matam pramanam dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajano yena gatastha panthaha. Tarkaha apratishta. This is all again words from Mahabharata, from Yaksha Prashna. Yudhishthira gives this answer to the Yaksha. Now, he says, Tarkaha apratishta. Now, every logic is not standard. One logic is defeated by another logic. So there is no perpetuity in logic. Shrutayo vibhinna. Vedas are also talking of different things. Naiko maniryasya matam pramanam. We cannot say this particular rishi's word is final. We cannot say that. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. The principle of dharma is as if it is hidden inside a cave. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. It is hidden inside a guha, inside a cave. It is very difficult to understand. So what should be done? Mahajano yena gatastha panthaha. That is the final answer he gives. He says, whatever your predecessors, your great ancestors have shown, that is the path you should follow. Mahajano yena gataha sa panthaha. That is the pantha, that is the route which you should follow. Of course, here we should be careful. Particularly in Kali Yuga, particularly when we are not sure of what somebody is telling, what some of our own forefathers might have done, some of our neighbors may be telling us. Now, there is a lot of misinformation here. So, Mahajano yena gatastha panthaha is not to be used as an excuse for us to deviate from standard dharma. We have to be very careful in our present circumstances. So, better we don't worry very much about this particular statement. What we should worry about is what Dharma Shastra says and what our Shishta, our great noble people, have enunciated as Dharma Shastra. Now, for example, various Dharma Shastra instructions have been compiled into a single volume of books by Vaidyanatha Dikshitar, as all of us must be aware. Vaidyanatha Dikshitiyam, it is called Smriti Mukta Phalam. It is also called Smriti Mukta Phalam. Mukta Phalam means pearl. This is a pearl out of all the smritis. Various smritis he has dived into and then collected this pearl. That is why it's called Smriti Mukta Phalam. Now, it is running into 6 kandas and 7 volumes. It is published by our Srimatham. It is available with Sanskrit shlokas and Tamil translation. It's readable, it's understandable, particularly with the translation, it is very understandable. Now what Vaidyanatha Dikshitar has done, he has compiled various instructions and he shows us the way. So, Mahajano yena gatastha panthaha is supported by Vaidyanatha Dikshitar. Now, we should take Vaidyanatha Dikshitiyam and our learned scholars of Shastra as our guide. Now, about dharma, about why we should follow dharma and what is meant to be dharma, there are many verses in Manusmriti itself. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha is a famous statement. Now, the full shloka is very important. Dharma eva hato hanti dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. When dharma is observed by us, it protects us. When we don't observe dharma, when we deviate from dharma, it kills us. Dharma eva hato hanti. When we kill the dharma, dharma kills us. When we protect dharma, dharma protects us. Tasmat dharmo na hantavyo mano dharmo hato vadhit. Therefore, be careful, he says. Manu says. Therefore, be careful. Do not deviate from dharma because it will kill you if you deviate. That is what it says. Kill you means it will make you deviate from the purushartha, because our purushartha, final purushartha is moksha, relief from bondage of the samsara. Now that aim you will not be able to achieve. That is what it means. It does not mean killing of the physical body. Now, Manu says a lot of things about the importance of dharma. Let us look at some of these verses before we get into actual dharma shastra. Nathidannapi dharmena mano dharme niveshayet adharmikanam papanam ashupashyan viparyayam. We see a lot of adharma around, particularly in Kali Yuga, he says, Manu says. And there is a temptation to deviate from dharma. There is a temptation to follow adharma because that looks attractive. But don't do that, he says. Don't do that because what you see is not the final picture. The man who follows adharma will meet his end very soon. You will see that. So don't get misguided by what you see around. He says that. Nasidan napi dharmena mano adharme niveshayete. Nasidan napi dharmena. Sometimes following dharma may be very tough, very difficult. The path may be difficult, but don't deviate. Adharmikanam papanam ashupashyan viparyayam. Because when you see, look around, the papis, the sinners who followed the path of adharma, ashupashyanne viparyayam, the fate they meet soon will make you think twice before you follow the path of adharma. Na dharma karito loke sadhya phalati gauriva shanair avartamanastu kartur mula anikrintati. This is again another argument which we find very often, particularly in Kali Yuga. That is, so and so is a born dharmi. He is following the path of adharma throughout and he is very prosperous. So that disproves the theory of righteousness, disproves the theory of the necessity of following the path of dharma. Now here he says, don't expect the fruit to come soon. Adharma karito loke sadhya phalati gauriva. Adharma does not give the immediate fruit, not like gau. That means you feed a cow, it gives you milk. You keep feeding, it keeps giving you milk. You don't have to wait. It gives you milk morning and evening. Go. Whereas adharma you do in the morning, evening you meet with a deadly fruit. It's not like that. It will come after many, many years. It may not even come within the particular lifetime of that man. But the karma is not going to leave him. It is going to come in the next birth. That is what he says. Shanair avartamanastu kartur mulani krintati. When it comes, it comes with a devastating effect. It kills the man completely. Mulani krintati. Root and branch he is destroyed. Yadi natmani putreshu nachet putreshu natrishu natvevatu krito dharmaha kartur bhavati nishphalaha. Now, adharma is sweet. Sometimes it appears sweet. But if you follow that sweet path, well, you may not face the evil consequences yourself in your lifetime. You will definitely face in your next lifetime. Not only that, it will be faced by your progeny, your children, your grandchildren. Yadi natmani putreshu, yadi natmani, if you don't face, putreshu, your sons will face, nachet putreshu natrishu. If your sons also do not face, it will go to your grandsons, grandson. Natvevata krito dharmaha kartur bhavati nishphalaha. If it is not so, if the system is not there, everybody will follow the path of adharma. Manu says all this. Look at the answers he gives to today's questions. Adharmena idate tavat tato bhadrani pashyati tata sapatnan jayati samulastu vinashyati. Now, the follower of adharma meets with a lot of prosperity. We see that. He is very prosperous. Tato bhadrani pashyati. He meets with a lot of prosperity. Tata sapatnan jayati. He even conquers a lot of enemies, like Ravana. He conquers enemies. Samulastu vinashyati. But at the end, he meets with destruction, root and branch. Samulastu vinashyati. So what we should do? Now he warned us against following the path of adharma. He warned us against the temptation of the following path of adharma. He told us these are the things you will be faced with. Don't be tempted. He said all this. Now he is saying what we should do. Dharmam shanaistanchuniyat valmikamiva kuttikaha. Don't aim at performing Vajpayee Yajna tomorrow. That will not be feasible. So what you should do is, you can do Sandhya Vandana today. That is within your possibility, realm of possibility. So, dharmam shanaihi sanchuniyat. Slowly, gradually, you accumulate dharma. You pick up dharma. Pick up dharma means pick up good deeds. Pick up punya. Valmikamiva kuttikaha, like ants build ant hill. Like the termites build ant hill. Valmikamiva kuttikaha. Like that you gradually. How does the ant bring the earth and the soil for building that ant hill? Very slowly. What it can bring? It can bring very little. Like that you accumulate dharma. Paralokasaha yartham sarvabhutan napidayan. While doing this, be careful. Do not harm anybody. Do not harm any living creature. Sarvabhutani apidayan. I am interested in accumulating dharma, so I will go and do anything. I will go and harm some other person. That is not the way. Sarva bhutan apidayan paralokataha yartham. Why I should accumulate dharma? I may not get the fruit today. I may not get the fruit in this janma, but I will get it in my next birth. When I leave this world, paralokataha yartham, for helping me in the next world. Now, is there any direct evidence of what is being said? Mritam shariram vastrijya kashtaloshta samam kshitau vimukha bandhava yanti dharmastamano gacchati. When you leave this world, who comes with you? Nobody comes. Mritam shariram vastrijya kashtaloshta samam kshitau. Your dead body is left on the earth. How? Kashtaloshta samam. Like a lump of clay, like a piece of wood. Kashta is wood, loshta is lump of clay. Kashta loshta samam kshitau. On the earth they leave you and then the relatives run away. The vimukha bandhava yanti. The relatives turn their face away from you. Dharmastam anugacchati. What follows you is only dharma. So do not be tempted by what somebody tells you, what you see, look, what you see around, what you find other people following. So you follow Dharma Shastra as laid down by Manu and others. That is what Manu himself says. This is Manu's instruction. Now, Manu has given detailed guidelines on everything. Not only Manu, even the other lawmakers, other Dharma Shastra makers. They have given detailed guidelines on what one should do right from getting up from bed in the morning to going to bed in the night, what one should do during the various stages of life, what one should do during the various ashramas, brahmacharya, grihasthashrama, vanaprastha, sannyasa, the various varnas, the four varnas. What are the dharmas to be followed by each varna? Varna dharma and ashrama dharma. In fact, dharma cannot be looked at without having varna and ashrama in the background. We should understand that. Now, the subject which we are now going to pursue is common dharmas. Dharmas which are common to all varnas, all ashramas. All human beings have to follow certain minimum essential dharmas. That is what we have to we are going to look at. But more specialized dharmas are associated with every varna and every ashrama. They are also required. Now that is what he says. Manu gives all guidelines on all these things. Now, how you should perform dharma? Shanai sanchaniyati, he said, isn't it? Gradually you accumulate. Now, when you gradually accumulate, he is also giving another guideline, very nice guideline. It is also from Manusmriti. Ajara amavaravat prajnaha vidyam artham cha sadhayet grihita yavake sheshu mrityuna dharma macharet. When you acquire knowledge, or when you acquire wealth, vidyam artham cha sadhayet. When you are pursuing vidya, when you are pursuing artha, that is wealth, you can go gradually. Ajara amaravati. That means I am not going to die immediately. I am not going to become old immediately. I have a lot of time. Why he is saying like this? Because don't be in a hurry to acquire wealth or acquire vidya. Vidya and wealth will take time. So gradually be at it. But while pursuing dharma, what he says? Grihita yavake sheshu mrityuna dharma macharet. As if Mrityu, Yama, is standing by my side, holding my hair by his hand, as if he is going to drag me away at any point of time. Mrityu can come anytime. There is no guarantee that we will live for the next second. Great saints have said, there is no guarantee that your breath, your outgoing breath will continue next minute. There is no guarantee. So Mrityu is standing with you all the time. So he says, Grihita eva kesheshu, as if Yama is standing by your side, holding you by hair. He may take you away anytime. With that anxiety, with that speed, you should perform dharma. So with that seriousness, you should perform dharma. So never deviate from dharma because you don't know. Because you have done the adharma today thinking that you will compensate it tomorrow. But there may not be any tomorrow for that. That is why he says, be careful. Now these are the general points regarding dharma which Shastrakaras have said. Now you will find there are 10 basic dharmas, common dharmas, which are common for all humankind. Now that he has expressed in a beautiful shloka, Manu. Dhritihi kshama damosteyam shaucham indriya nigraha dhir vidya satyam akrodho dashakam dharma lakshanam. These 10 are the lakshanas of dharma, characteristics of dharma. First is dhriti. Dhriti is steadfastness. Kshama is patience. Now we will look at each of them in these few lectures, each of them in detail. That is the purpose of these lectures. Dhriti is steadfastness. Kshama is patience and forbearance and compassion. Dama is restraint of sense organs, restraint of indriyas, that is dama, particularly the outer indriyas. Asteyam is non-stealing. Shaucham is purity. Indriya nigraha is restraint of indriyas. Dama is outer indriyas. Now, indriya here in a general sense, it includes the inner indriyas, manas and all that. Next is dhihi, intellect. Vidya, knowledge. Satyam, being truthful. Akrodha, avoiding anger. These are the 10. Dashakam dharma lakshanam. Now, dharma is, even common dharmas are variously described in various shastras. Now, I have picked up these 10 as the basic dharma characteristics. There are also what are called 8 Atma Gunas, which are also mentioned in various dharma shastras. 8 Atma Gunas, which are again a variant of these 10. In fact, we will refer to those 8 as we go along. Now, in order to refine our mind, to be able to follow the path of dharma, in order to refine our mind, to be able to follow the path of dharma, to remove the impurities which we might have carried forward from our crores of previous births. They are called vasanas. They exist when we were born on this earth. They came with us. There is no way of getting away from them. So they are with us. Now, how to overcome those vasanas? If they are good vasanas, they are welcome. They should stay with us. We should encourage. We should develop. But if they are bad vasanas, we should get rid of them. How to do that? That is why 40 samskaras have been laid down in Dharma Shastra. 40 samskaras. Samskara means purificatory rituals. To get rid of these evil vasanas, evil tendencies, there are 40 samskaras. Now, we are not going into those 40 samskaras. I am just mentioning that the importance of the samskaras, because many times questions are raised about why samskaras are required. What is the importance of a particular samskara? Why is it essential, and so on. Now, they are all essential. They are all laid down by Shastrakaras for a human to get rid of his impurities, to walk the path of Dharma properly, and to attain his destination, which is moksha. Now, we will get into the first one of the 10 Dharma Lakshanas. The first is Dhriti. Dhriti is steadfastness. When you have chosen a path, you should stick to that path. This is very important. Now here, this is where the temptation part, which we discussed a few minutes ago, comes in. If we are going to be tempted by various things, which we know are not going to help us in the path of Dharma, on the other hand, they will lead us down the path of Adharma, then we should be careful to avoid them. Now, to be able to strengthen our mind against the temptations is called dhriti, being steadfast. This is very important. That's why he has put it, he has given it the position number 1 in this 10. Without dhriti, you can't do anything. Dhriti is the basis. Because our intentions are very good, but we don't want to follow them. We have no strength of mind to follow them. Now, if I do Sandhya Vandanam, somebody will laugh at me. If I wear a shikha, somebody will laugh at me. That is not the way of the world today. If I read books, Shastra books, that is not the trend of today. So on. If I don't accompany a friend for seeing a movie, he will mistake me, and so on. Now, there are many, many ways we can be turned away from the path of Dharma. So, to be able to say no to those temptations, you need steadfastness, and that is dhriti. Now, are there any examples? There are many. In fact, all our Puranas, all our Vedas, all our Shastras are full of examples of dhriti. You take saints, they have performed tapas, Narada, so many rishis, Vasishtha, Vishwamitra. They have all performed tapas. What is tapas? Being steadfast in their pursuit of the path which will take them to that particular aim. In the case of saints, it was getting Brahma Jnana, it was getting moksha, and they have succeeded. How did they succeed? By following the path of tapas for many, many hundreds of years, not 1 year or 2 years. They have never deviated. Okay, they didn't deviate because there was no temptation. No, it is not so. Because Indra, as you can see in all the stories, provided the temptations, they wanted them to deviate from their aim, and he did all his best. Indra has done all his best to dissuade these saints from following the path of Dharma. Now, if you take the story which occurs in Bhagavata, Devi Bhagavata, Mahabharata, and other epics, there is the story of Vishwarupa. In the Vritravadha context, this comes. This is the first stage of Vritravadha. Vishwarupa is son of Twashta, a high-grade Brahmana. Now, he was doing tapas. He was doing tapas not for any evil purpose, not for dislodging Indra from this position of Indra and becoming Indra himself. No, not for any other purpose other than attaining Brahmajnana and attaining moksha. But Indra was doubtful. As usual, he was suspicious. So what he did, he sent Apsaras. That is what he normally does. He sent Apsaras as a temptation. But what happened to Vishwarupa? Now he says, Na pashyatsa tapo rasihi angananam vidambanam indriyani vashe kritva mukanda bhadirastitaha tapo rasihi. He was the very incarnation of tapa, accumulation, mass of tapa, tapas. He didn't see, na apashyate, angananam vidambanam, the dance and the music of the apsaras, he did not see. Because looking at something is the first, the eye is the most critical indriya when it comes to deviation from the path of dharma. So that's why he says, na apashyate. What did he do? Indriyani vashe kritva mukanda badirastitaha. He brought all his indriyas, all his sense organs under control. And how was he? He was like, he has given three characteristics. Muka, Andha, and Badhira. He was like a mute man, he was like a blind man, and he was like a deaf man. Mute, blind, and deaf. The faculty of speech, the faculty of seeing, the faculty of hearing, all the three were completely absent in him. That shows his steadfastness. So Indra had to go back. Indra then came back and then he killed him with his Vajra. That is another story. That we are not interested in that. Now, when Nara and Narayana, they did tapas. Same Indra sent Manmatha, he sent Rati, he sent Vasanta Ritu, he sent all the Apsaras, he sent everything. Narayana or Amshas of Narayana himself. So they didn't care. Ultimately, when they opened their eyes, they saw all this. They saw that Vasanta Ritu has come untimely. And then he saw Manmatha, he saw Apsaras and all that. Then what did he do? He tapped his thigh, Narayana tapped his thigh and produced Urvashi. Urvashi came from his Uru, his thigh. That's why she is known as Urvashi. And then he presented Urvashi to Manmatha and those Apsaras three. And he said, you take Urvashi also along with you and go back to Indra. They were all ashamed at their act. So goes the story. Now, okay, these are great saints. These are avatars. Now, what about Asura? Prahlada was an Asura. And in fact, all Asuras have been steadfast in their tapas. Only after their tapas succeeded, they were deviant because their aim was not good. Because their destination was not good. They didn't want Atmajnana, they didn't want moksha, they wanted something else. They wanted Indra to be dislodged, they wanted overlordship of all the created worlds and so on. But they were steadfast in their tapas. Similarly, Prahlada, an Asura child, was steadfast in spite of his own father trying all his best to make him deviate from the path of Dharma. He employed Sukra's sons as teachers. He taught that Hiranyakashipu is the Lord. Through them, this teaching was given. And in spite of all that, he was all alone in a class of Asura students, in a society surrounded by Asuras, in a society surrounded by rishis who were all subdued. All virtuous people had been subdued by Hiranyakashipu. In that society, he was all alone, and he said, I will not deviate. I will recognize only Narayana as the ultimate destination. That's why he is called Narayana, Arasya Ayanaha. Now, that is Prahlada. Now, we find steadfastness in various situations, various degrees, in various stories. Now, if you take Skanda Purana, there is an asura called Bhanukopa. He was the son of Shorapadma, very valiant warrior, very terrible man. He was next in strength only to Shorapadma. Now, this war lasted 6 days, as all of you may be knowing, Shorapadma war. And on 5th day, till then this Bhanukopa was alive. On 5th day, Veerabahu, the brother of Subramanya, he killed him. So Subramanya was very happy. He called Veerabahu. He said, what boon do you want? Now there also steadfastness comes. Now he says, it's a beautiful verse which comes in Skanda Purana. He says, Mastu me Brahma Vishnuadi Devatanam Padam Prabho. I do not want the state of Brahma or Vishnu or Devendra. I don't want that. These are the coveted positions which Subramanya could give. He could have given had he asked. He says, I don't want. Then what do I want? Tava padam bhujadvandve bhaktirubhavatu pavani. I need pavani bhakti, very pure bhakti, unalloyed, achanchala, nirvikara. That type of bhakti I want at your lotus feet. Tava padam bhujadvandve bhaktirubhavatu pavani. So steadfastness is required right till the end, till we reach the destination. Even there are many stories where Brahma appears and entices the saint or the asura, whoever has done the tapas, with various allurements. I'll give you this, I'll give you that. Even Kathopanishad, Yama and Nachiketa. Yama gave him allurements, but Nachiketa, as a young boy, he was very steadfast in his pursuit. He wanted Brahmajnana only, nothing less. So like this is steadfastness. Now, this is very much required in our present society. Now, Dhriti is defined very nicely in Bhagavad Gita. As usual, Krishna describes Satviki, Rajasi, and Tamasi. Now, Satviki is what we are interested in. He says, Dhritya yaya dharayate mana pranendriya kriyaha yogena vyabhicarinya dhritissa partha satviki. That is Satviki dhriti. Which one? When you have controlled your mind, your prana, your vital breath, your actions of indriyas, sense organs, if you have control, if you have brought them under full control, yogena avyabhicarinya dhritihi. Your aim should be avichalita, should be steady. Avichalita should be steady. That is yoga. Yogena avyabhicarinya, without any vibhichara, without any vacillation. If your aim is steady and you have brought your sense organs under control, your mind under control, then only it is called Satviki Dhriti. If you leave any of these things, then you will fall down to the next category, Rajasi or Tamasi Dhriti. Even in yoga is nowadays a very popular term. Of course, nowadays yoga means exercises. Now, yoga, the Ashtanga yoga, with Samadhi as the final limb, the 8th limb, there, if you follow yoga path, Yoganga Anushtanat Asiddhikshaye Jnana Vepti Raviveka Khyate, he says, Patanjali. That is, if you follow the path of yoga, what is the path of yoga? First is Yama and Niyama, bringing the sense organs under control, following these gunas, Atma gunas, bringing the mind under control. Then only the question of asana, pranayama and all comes. First is Yama and Niyama. So if you follow this steadily, properly, Ashuddhikshaye, then it will lead to loss of impurities. Ashuddhikshaya will happen. Then Jnana Dipti Raviveka Khyate. Your discrimination will improve and you will be able to see the light of knowledge. Jnana Dipti Raviveka Khyate. Khyati means steady perception here. So steady perception of the light of knowledge, because you have developed steady discrimination, will happen if you have followed this. Because only when you have discriminated that something is bad, something is not agreeable, something is not wholesome, then you will avoid it. Adharma is unwholesome. That's why you want to avoid it. And you want to follow the path of wholesome dharma. So that discrimination has to happen. And that you will be able to do only if you have developed dhriti. So I think today's time has already been exceeded. I don't know whether the time for questions today. The next 4 lectures are dedicated for the common dharmas. We will follow the balanced dharmas on similar lines. Today, if there are any questions and if there is time, I don't know.
Mama,
whether,
what we can do, Mama, is during this course. So what Vivek and I were thinking about is during the course, if people had questions, they can actually do a chat box. They can do it in the chat side and say, okay, I have a question. They don't have to necessarily ask the question in the chat.
Okay.
So we can do it that way so that it is easy to moderate, saying that if we have about 20 participants. If somebody wants to ask a question, they can always raise the hand. There is an option in Zoom, or they can just put it in the chat box, and then we can, unmute you so that you can ask the question. So we can try that today. So if anybody has a question, there is an option called raising the hand, or just let me know so that you can unmute yourself and ask.
Today, are you able to?
Yeah. So
today,
go ahead.
Was it audible? Everything was audible?
Yeah, everything was audible. The second time
everything was audible.
We didn't have any issues.
And
yes, Mama. Everything was audible, Mama.
I am visible.
Everything was audible.
Yeah, yes. You are visible. No problems.
Yes, Mama.
Okay, but I am not able to see the participants on my mobile screen.
Muted,
I don't know.
So
maybe
all of us muted our videos so that to save on the band.
Okay. That may be the.
Yeah, I started my audio, Mama. Namaskaram.
Okay. Namaskaram. Okay. So, are we going to encourage any questions right now?
Yeah. You can. We can.
Absolutely. Any questions to be answered right now?
Yeah. Namaskar, Mama. I'm Guru Ayyappan here.
Okay.
Yeah, Mama, you have to move to gallery view. In the top right, you'll see. I think if you're on the mobile phone, you won't be able to see it. I think.
Mobile. 1 minute. 1 minute. Vivek.
You have to move to a gallery mode if you're on a computer.
ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம் அம்மா உங்களை பார்க்கிறதுக்கு.
ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம்.
இப்போ எப்படி இருக்கா எல்லாரும் தேவலையா? அம்மா. நமஸ்காரம் அம்மா.
இது பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ் நமஸ்காரம். பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ் பார்க்கிறதுக்கு எல்லாத்தையும்
அதான் எல்லாரும் ஆன் பண்ணிருக்கோம். எல்லாரும் வீடியோ ஆன் பண்ணிருக்கோம். ஏன்னா நிறைய பேருக்கு உங்களுக்கு தெரியும், சில நிறைய பேருக்கு தெரியாது, அதனால வீடியோ ஆன் பண்ணிருக்கோம்.
ஓகே, ரைட். ஓகே. இப்போ இது பிக்சர்
நாங்க நீச்சல் இருக்கோம். அவ எடுத்து சொல்லுங்க, மாமாக்கு கொஞ்சம் தெரியும் எங்கெங்க இருக்கான்ட்டு. எல்லாரும் அவ எடுத்து சொல்லுங்க ப்ளீஸ்.
மாமா, நான் வந்து ரமேஷ் நடராஜன், அரிசோனால இருக்கேன். நெருவல் ராமகிருஷ்ணன் மாமா வந்து என்னோட ராமகிருஷ்ணன் வந்து என்னோட மாமா.
ஓ அப்படியா? ஓகே.
ஆமா.
ஃபேண்டாஸ்டிக். ஓகே. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
மாமா நமஸ்காரம். நான் விவேக், நான் கோஆர்டினேட் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பேன். ஹியூஸ்டன்ல இருக்கேன்.
ஓ, நம்ம ஒரு தடவை போன்ல பேசணும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ரொம்ப
ஆமா, நான் வந்து ஜிகேவோட ஸ்டூடெண்ட் வேற. சோ
through GK we spoke once on phone நினைக்கிறேன்.
ஆமா. அப்புறம் you've been sending me all the emails about your
I've been sending you are on my standard list. Yeah, correct. Yeah, nice meeting you.
Thank you, Mama. Namaskaram.
Okay, Mama. So today, unless anybody doesn't have a question, so Lakshmi, you can introduce yourself. Lakshmi, you're muted, Lakshmi. Lakshmi, you're muted.
Mute.
Lakshmi, you're muted.
அவரை அன்மியூட் பண்ண முடியுமா நம்மளே?
இத பண்ண முடியாது.
Namaskaram. You can see me now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Namaskaram.
என் பேரு லக்ஷ்மணாராயண். I live in Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Areaல இருக்கேன். ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம்.
ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். நமஸ்காரம்.
Okay, Mama. That's for now.
Okay.
Ramesh, இன்னைக்கு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டே ஒரு क्वेश्चन.
Close for today.
யாராவது நோட்ஸ் எடுத்துக்கணுமா? Because ஒரு இது மாதிரி, do you want to write up something for the NRI letter or
we can just say we have started the session and you just send a small write up.
அவ்வளவுதான். ஓகே.
you just send it. So பரத் பாச்சாரி பரத் காமிச்சிடலாமா உங்கள்ட்ட அனுப்புமா?
பரத்
you send it to Bharat.
We can send it to Bharat. Yeah. We can send it to Bharat.
Okay.
இப்போ வந்தாரு அவர் யாரு? இப்போ வந்தாரு ஒருத்தர் ஸ்கிரீன்ல அவர் யாரு?
மாமா நான் தான் ரமேஷ்.
இல்ல இப்போ இன்னொருத்தர் வந்தார்.
பார்த்தசாரதி மாமா.
பார்த்தசாரதி. ஓகே ரைட்.
நமஸ்காரம்.
ஓகே
நமஸ்காரம்.
Okay, Mama. Thanks a lot. Papa. Okay, Saturday, Vivek will take care of it. Saturday.
Okay. So we continue on Saturday.
Correct.
Okay.
Saturday, same time, 10 a.m.
Saturday, same time.
Mama, I'll call you and I'll also send you my WhatsApp number so that we'll be in touch.
Okay.
Thank you, Mama. Namaskar.
Thank you. Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadeva Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Shri Jayadambikaye Jagajaya.